She bad, she know, she nasty on the low. She look at the mirror, she drop me on the floor. She bust it wide open, nigga, make it low. Queen, shawty, you deserve the glory. I got too much on my mind for that. I might take my time for this. Baby, you too fine for that. Let me build your confidence. Girl, you so divine with that. I know you read signs and shit, so you wasn't surprised when I snatched you from your mom and them.
So my homegirl Keisha, known her since we was in elementary school. Her dad was a pastor for a few years, had his own church. I used to sit in Bible study with this girl. And we even had our first kiss behind the church, sitting on the AC condenser. And there's a whole bunch that I remember about Keisha. One of the things I'll never forget was how much of a hustler she was. She was one of those girls that sold candy at school. And then she was smart, way smarter than the average kid. I remember one time we were at school, the teacher finds her with some candy and starts threatening her, telling her she's going to get expelled from school over selling candy. Most kids our age would have panicked, freaked out. Nope, not Keisha. Keisha blackmails that very same teacher, explaining to her that she knows about the affair she's having with the PE coach, Mr. Cedric. Then went on to demand that the teacher actually bought candy from her every day in order for her to keep it a secret. Now, you know how it goes. Over the years, we will be in and out of contact. We went to the same high school together, but you know, in high school, people tend to grow apart, get into their own cliques. Or we graduate. I go off to college and kind of forget about Keisha. It's my sophomore year. I come back for spring break, hanging out, and I bump into her. She invites me to this party. I'm like, cool, let's catch up. I'm kind of excited about it. So Saturday night rolls around and I go to what I thought was supposed to be a house party. But when I get inside the house, there's no music playing. Understand, it really is a party because there's music coming from outside in the pool area. But inside the house, it's just smoky. I mean, like an old smoke-filled barroom. I'm moving along. I done got about 5 or 6 steps into the door. And I swear to God, I'm greeted by a nigga that looks just like Michael Wright from the movie The Five Heartbeats. He's got the suit on, cigarette in his mouth, that wet, slick back hair. And he's like, what you doing inside of my crib? Listen, I didn't know whose house I was in, so I decided to play it cooler. And I tell him, listen, I'm here on behalf of my friend Keisha. She invited me to this party. The look on his face changes and he tells me, oh, okay, enjoy the party. And the condoms are in the kitchen. Now pause right there. Have you ever heard something a person said, but it didn't quite register till later? You know how sometimes you're out with people and some slick-mouthed person insults you, but you completely miss the insult. It goes all the way over your head. Then an hour later, you catch on to it? Well, that's exactly what happened with the whole condom in the kitchen comment. He completely missed me with that shit. I didn't understand it until later. So I'm moving around the house and there's cigarette smoke everywhere. People laid out on chairs, sleep, chicks walking around with just panties on, and you can hear the music coming from outside in the backyard. Walking out into that yard, they got people butt naked in the pool, other people poolside having sex, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Understand, it's over 150 people at this house party. And now I'm confused trying to figure out where exactly Keisha fits into this situation. And secondly, why in the hell would she feel like I needed to be invited to some shit like this? So I go back to the guy who looks like one of the Five Heartbeats and ask him exactly where Keisha is. And he says she's probably upstairs handling business. So now my mind starts racing and I'm like, oh Lord, Keisha is some kind of fucking prostitute. Mind you, we've known each other since we were 6 years old. Like I said, went to Sunday school together. Me and this girl took karate classes together. So now I'm rushing up the stairs. The worst thoughts running through my mind. Dude's on top of her doing all kind of nasty things. And I come to this hallway with 5 doors. I open the first door and there's some wild shit going on in that room. I open the second door and it seems as if things are getting progressively more wild. By the time I opened the third door, there was plastic laid all over the room and people naked, literally rolling around in human shit. Now, when I get to the last door, it's locked. So I knock and I say, hey, I'm looking for Keisha. And that's when this dude opens the door wearing one of those leather puppy masks, no shirt, with a leash around his neck. No sooner than he opens the door, he's yanked by that leash and pulled backward. Going inside, there she is, Keisha, sitting down at a desk with a money counting machine on top of it, and it had to be something like $50,000 cash, pills in Ziploc bags, and definitely cocaine on his desk. She looks at me and smiles and says, "Hey, I'm so happy to see you. I didn't think you would come to this party. Come on in, sit down and have a seat." Understand this situation. As I'm fully walking into the room, there is a grown ass man with a black leather puppy mask and a leash around his neck, looking at me, breathing on me. She yanks the leash again and tells him to sit his ass down, and this man sits down in a corner like a damn dog. Again, I've known Keisha since we were children, so I did not beat around the bush with her at all. I'm like, "Keisha, what the fuck do you have going on in here? Who are these people and why are you doing this?" That's when she goes on to explain to me that this is one of the many fetish houses she has around Atlanta. I'm completely shocked because the sweet little girl that I grew up with has went to the fucking dark side. I mean, full-fledged dog Vader around this bitch. And for the life of me, I can't figure out what the hell has happened to her. But every time a word comes out of my mouth, the dude with the fucking dog mask in the corner is whimpering and whining like a dog. You know how it feels to find yourself in a situation that's just too crazy for you. You want to get up and run away. I sat there squirming in my chair, just wanting to leave, and Keisha could tell that I was uncomfortable, so she sends the guy outside. We talk a little bit more, and I'm like, "Keisha, girl, this is some crazy shit. You got to explain to me how the hell you get into this." And that's when she explains to me that she doesn't partake in any of the activities. She just facilitates people's desires, and that everyone here is grown. There are no kids. Everyone is a consenting adult doing what they choose to do. Now, I'm pretty sure the look on my face when I sat back in my chair told her that I thought this was some bullshit. There is no way on the planet that you run around in the house with all these freaky people and don't do anything freaky. I tell her, "Keisha, I'm not stupid. There's no way on this planet that you don't partake in something that involves this. And I love you like a sister, but I'm not comfortable enough to be in this environment with you. And frankly, I don't love you enough to be in this type of environment with you." Listen, I guess Keisha wanted to keep the conversation going because she offers to change clothes and for us to go out to have dinner at a restaurant. So I say, "Okay, fine. We can catch up as long as we don't have to deal with all this shit in the house." So she stands up from the desk, walks over to the closet, strips completely naked right in front of me, and proceeds to change clothes. And again, I say to her, "Keisha, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you getting butt naked in front of me?" And she insists that she thinks of me as a brother and she sees nothing wrong with it. But I kindly try to explain to her that I don't know any sisters who get completely undressed in front of their brothers. In the back of my mind, I'm saying to myself, "See, this broad done went morally bankrupt. I need to get the fuck out of here." But part of me still wanted to know that my friend was okay. So we head downstairs inside of the garage. And she has a Mercedes-Benz G.
Okay, now you know Dark Waters is not about to give it all away for free. Want the rest of this story? Go to IamDarkWaters.com and become a member today. Only $4.99 per month gives you access to his library of true horror stories. Become a member today. The $4.99 per month gives you access to his library of true horror stories. Become a member today.